Caden, you've had a fair amount of success getting the ball a lot in your first 2 games with Maryland. Have you felt yourself kind of coming into your own early in the season and becoming, more antiquated with this offense?
Yeah, as the weeks go by, I'm evolving more in the offense, and me and Talia's connection is clicking better, but there's definitely still more work to do.
Hey, Caden, what did you and Talia kind of do, immediately after your transfer, as soon as you got here, to begin getting acclimated with each other as soon as possible?
First thing is we got in the playbook because, it was a huge jump from my old playbook to this playbook. So we wanted to make sure I knew everything that I had to do, being at the right place at the right time. And then, after that, we got right on the field and, started building a connection with the ball.
You've been utilized pretty heavily, especially on Talia's deep balls. Just in general, what kind of makes a receiver a good deep threat, and how have you worked to become that?
What makes a receiver a good deep threat is pretty much all about confidence. That makes a receiver a good receiver. From the jump, it's all about confidence. When the ball's in the air, you have to tell yourself that it's yours.
Hey there. I know you guys are focused on Virginia as just being the next game, the next opponent, but how much have you guys been made aware of the rivalry, especially for the fans?
We know it's a big game. We know we haven't played them, in quite a while. So, they're going to come in hot. They got a lot to play for, So we know they're going to come in and, give it their all. So we have to have a good week of practice.
Hi, Caden, back here. You mentioned jump in the playbook coming from West Virginia, I think it was, to here. So can you describe a little bit about how your role is different than the previous 2 seasons that you've played?
My first year, I was really just a sponge. I soaked everything in, just wanted to get, a true feeling for college football. And, my second year, I became one of the guys that they looked forward to making a play. And, that helped me leading into this year because I also have that role of, making a play for the team when they need it.
Hey, Caden, I assume you might remember a little bit of when Maryland was in the ACC. Do you remember those rivalries at all? Do you have any memories of watching like a Maryland UVA game back in the day?
Here and there. I didn't really watch too many of them, but I know they got some ACC rivalries for sure.
And then just going into this game, I know Charlotte kind of asked a similar thing, but just how excited are you to, because I know there's a lot of history, Maryland, old school history of what they did in the ACC. How excited are you guys to maybe bring that back out here Friday night in front of a big crowd and a blackout with the new uniforms on?
Yeah, it's excited. I think the whole group's excited, mainly for the blackout, knowing it's a Friday night game, so all eyes are going to be on us. But it was just like that last week with the night game. So, we look forward to, having all eyes on us and coming ready to play.
How do you feel about the New Jerseys?
Oh, they're one of a kind. That's a plus to coming to Maryland, the uniforms, and that's exactly what I was looking for.
And then you talked about how your connection with Talia has kind of grown. Where do you see that on the field?
Just as far as, being on the same page, it might be, drawn up in the playbook one way, but, me and Talia might talk about it another way, and that's how it's going to be ran on the field. So, things like that.
Is there an example of a play either from the last game or the game before that kind of shows that?
Yeah, can't speak about it too much, though.
Hey, KP, obviously going into week 3, first off, what kind of jumps out about Virginia, whether it's a defense or secondary, and then 2, just what's kind of the focus for the offense to close out non-conference slate strong?
What jumps out about UVA is, their record speaks nothing about their play. They come out blazing, they finish the game blazing. They're a good football team, great coaches, great players. But, we know that it's going to be, a slight challenge because, like I said before, they're coming out, they have something to play for, they have a lot to play for. So, as long as everyone does their job on the team, we should come out with the victory.
Okay, now I guess specifically about Virginia defensively, they kind of held JMU in check through the air last week. What kind of things do they do? What sort of ways do they try to keep offenses like yourselves on your heels?
They like to keep, everything in front of them. They're not a team that beats themselves. So, Coach Gaddis, the offensive staff, we're focusing on, one drive at a time, one play at a time, going down the field and executing.
Hey, Caden. A lot of talk about rivalries. You played in a similar game last year in the Backyard Brawl that took 10 years to get back on the schedule. Now playing in this one, can you take any experience from playing in such a heated rivalry like that last year in Pittsburgh here to this game, and can you offer some wisdom to some of your teammates about what it's like to play in those games?
Yeah, I mean, it's really all about ignoring the noise. You know, a lot of noise comes with these games, and all the noise is going to do is, take your mind off the task, and that's to win the game. So, all the social media stuff, this and that, we just need to worry about, winning the game and doing our jobs. So if there was any wisdom I was going to give out to my teammates, it would be that.
And a lot of people, talked about you're becoming familiar very quickly with this offense. 3 touchdowns all of last season, 2 so far this season. Probably should have been a third on that pass interference call. What has just led to that acclimation so quickly with Talia?
Just the coaches and my teammates believing in me. It's easy to go out there and make plays for people that actually believe in you and that are counting on you. So it's coming along very well.
What was it that originally drew you to Maryland? Was it just wanting to come closer to home, or was there more than that? And were there conversations with anyone on the team currently that kind of did a little recruiting?
I got some guys on the team for sure. None of them really changed my mind to coming to Maryland, but the proof is in the pudding. You see what Coach Locks and Coach Gaddis does with wide receivers. And another thing is, it's nothing like playing in front of your whole family. So that was a big push for me to come here.
What did you guys talk about after that, the pass interference that brought that touchdown back? Was that just kind of an example of the chemistry that you guys have been working to build and, manifest itself on the field?
Yeah, for sure. The DB was playing off. Usually a quarterback will, look the other way with the DB playing a deep third like that. But, just the confidence Talia has in me, he threw it anyway. And results are results.
Anything else?
Ask, what do you kind of think of like Friday night games and like the prep, or because Mike Locksley was talking about today is a Wednesday, even though it's a Tuesday, or Wednesday for you guys?
It's definitely a quick turnaround. I know last season I had 2 Thursday night games, so something like this is not really new to me, but it's a quick turnaround. It really tests your composure and what kind of guys you have on the team, because nobody wants to come out here and practice after we just played a game 2 days ago. So it really puts you up to the battle.
Thanks, Caleb.
Montgomery County games are on Thursday night this week. Do you have any Northwest friends coming down on Friday night to watch the game?
I have some coaches coming for sure. Yeah, I have my coaching staff coming from Northwest.
Macarini going to be down there?
I don't think so. I haven't talked to Coach Mac in a while. Yeah, I don't think so. I wish.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.
Caleb Friedman, if you have a question for Caleb, please raise your hand. We'll get you the mic. We'll start with that.
Hey, Caleb, good to see you, man. Obviously, I know you got a chance to play a lot, obviously, in your true freshman year heading into this year, but just kind of curious for you, where do you kind of feel the biggest growth or the biggest strides going in from year 1 to year 2?
Well, to start off, like where I felt my growth was kind of off the field. I started like really building like my relationship up with the Lord, and like that has really been like my true foundation in my life now. And then also like just being able just to get in the film room like with my coaches and all the assistant coaches and my teammates and stuff like that. Like that's really like helped me be able to grow as a player and be able to help my teammates on the field.
Hey, Caleb. How helpful is it to play with a guy like Jason Barham who can do so well, both rushing the passer and in coverage?
It just gives us a lot of freedom. He's a great player. Love playing with him, and it's just a lot that he can do. And I just feel like we can do a lot more with our defense.
Is there maybe a moment specifically between either the first week or the second week where you really noticed that him playing so well, either at the line or in coverage, has freed you up?
No, not really. It was just kind of just like that's our flow.
What do you feel, maybe compared to other systems you've played in, in high school or before Brian Williams' system? How do you feel the linebacker position kind of factors into what you guys try to do?
I feel like it gives us like a lot of freedom, like I just said before. Like we're able just to do a lot of different things than like we were like in last year and stuff like that. Like we feel more comfortable as a team, like with the defense and stuff like that, and just being able just to like play together and be able to just communicate across the ball.
Virginia's played a couple of quarterbacks this fall. What concerns you with Tony Muskett and then Anthony Colindrea? What challenges do each of those guys pose you?
With Tony Muskett, I actually played him in high school, so like I kind of know him a lot, and like he's very accurate. He has a strong arm. Like we're just gonna be able just to pay attention to what he does, like how his body language is, and then with a younger quarterback, you're saying like everybody is a threat. Like when we step on the field, like we can't take anybody lightly. So we're just preparing, like just for us to be better as a team and be able to go into this game with our head high.
You guys have been really good against the run, especially in the latter half of that game in Charlotte. What worked well for you guys?
Our up front, our D line. I love our D line. We got Jordan Phillips, Tommy Kimasote, Tajay Johnson, like the list goes on. Like with those guys up front, it just really just gives us that like ability just to play like how like we're able to in like these past couple games that you've seen.
Alex, in the back.
Hey, Caleb. I know you're probably pretty young when Maryland was in the ACC, but I know you played high school ball in high school ball in Maryland, but I know you're from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So how much did you know about that Maryland UVA rivalry growing up, and how excited are you to play in a game like this?
Well, growing up, like I really like didn't pay attention to college football like that, but I did from my understanding that like they did have a big rivalry and stuff like that. So, and coming from Virginia, like it's kind of cool to play from like my school from back at home, kind of like a school that like I saw a lot growing up. So it's just kind of fun just to see how like everything unfolds and stuff like that.
Do you have a lot of friends that were either Maryland or UVA fans, and do you kind of see this?
All right, we have quarterback Talia Tundabailoa. If you have a question, Talia, raise your hand. We'll get you the mic. Dave.
Talia, you've had a chance to check out the game tape from Saturday. Biggest lessons you've learned from that night moving forward as you guys prep for Virginia?
Yes, sir. Obviously, the turnovers. Obviously, I can't be turning over the ball, especially the first play of the game. That was a big momentum swing. Our defense, really held up for us on that game. But yeah, just going back to the basics, just always continuing to go through my process through every play, and got to take care of the football. So.
Virginia's allowed 30 points in both of their games so far this year, but they held James Madison in check through the air. They also kept Tennessee out of the end zone for a big chunk of the first half. What is it that they do defensively that might concern you?
Yes, sir. They do a lot of good stuff defensively. They like playing man coverage. I think their biggest thing is their front seven. They got a really good box. Who can stop the run, get pressure on the quarterback, stuff like that. So biggest thing for us is starting fast and finishing strong.
Hey, Talia, Virginia has shown a little bit of vulnerability stopping the run this year. With the way you guys are able to run the ball against Charlotte, how much do you think you can attack them in the run game on Friday?
Yes, sir. I think our offense, we want to be as balanced as possible. Obviously, our run game been picking up, especially last week. I think our O-line and our coaches are doing a good job with that. And, whatever we need to do, we have full confidence in throwing the ball, running the ball, whatever we need to do to, come out this game victorious.
Talia, how does your preparation change on a short week where you guys have, one less day to prepare?
Yeah, I don't think it changes that much other than, we had a start on Sunday. We had a practice on Sunday and come in, and everything just gets bumped up, a day early. And it's part of the sacrifices you have to make, knowing we had a night game on Saturday and we got a Friday night game this week. So everything just bumps up. We all know the price it takes, and we know we got to sacrifice, free time and sleep and days like that. So it takes what it takes, and preparation is the same. So.
Hey, Talia, it seems like Caden Prather's already become one of your favorite targets, particularly when throwing deep. Just what about him makes him, such a good threat when throwing deep and someone that you can trust in those spots?
Yes, sir. KP is a big target, very fast. He has good speed and attacks the ball. He's really good, and obviously I have a lot of confidence in Caden, and our relationship and our chemistry is going to continue to build throughout the rest of the season. So
he talked a lot too about that confidence and trust that you have in him. Week one, he has the drop, and you go back to him for the touchdown. This past week, he has the pass interference. You go back to him for the touchdown. Are those kind of some examples of the trust that you have in him?
Yes, sir. I think that's the trust I have with any receiver. Whether they drop a ball or I miss a throw or whatever, we have playmakers, and there's a reason why they're on the field. And if they're on the field, and I know they're going to give their 100%, and I'm always going to try to find a way to get the ball to our playmakers. So.
Anything else? Sean?
Hey, Talia, what do you know about the history of the Virginia-Maryland rivalry?
I don't really know anything of.
Right. So a lot of the guys nowadays on this year's team, the history of this rivalry from the ACC and Virginia Maryland has not played a team more than Virginia in its history. To be part of that rivalry this week and to kind of continue that now, what does that mean to you and kind of hearing that?
Yes, sir. I think it's pretty cool. I know Maryland was in the ACC last year or back in the day, but some new rivals and stuff popping up. So I think it's cool just to have that in our history and stuff like that. But I see this game as just another game on our schedule, and we got to prepare the same way. And obviously Virginia is a really good football team, a wounded team, and I think we just got to come out and do our job.
So they're playing in prime time again. I think you guys are going to be in prime time against Michigan State as well. How exciting is that for you to be able to showcase your wares on the national TV stage for this team to showcase what you guys can do as a group?
Yes, sir. I think it's a blessing, and for us, we're always trying to show the world what we can do, and I got to put my best foot forward, and it all starts with preparation, and not really thinking about the prime time, just thinking about my process and what it takes for us to win this game. So I think that's our whole team's focus, and we're just going to continue to grind and get better and try to win this game.
Hey, Talia. I know, obviously, like you said, shortened week, whatnot, but this will be the last game of the non-conference slate. I guess I'm just curious, what have you seen maybe through the first 2 weeks that maybe leaves you most confident? And then, like I said, where do you kind of see the offense still needing to take that stride going into conference play?
Yes, sir. I feel very confident in our offense and everything we're doing right now. Our running game, passing game. I'm feeling more comfortable with our offense, and I think for us, the biggest thing is the little details. The penalties, the turnovers. Obviously, we can't have any of those things. In the red zone, we got to be 100%, and it's really just the little details that are holding us back. And it's the same thing. We can't beat ourselves with turnovers, penalties, especially in the red zone and stuff like that. So I feel like, I'm very confident in our offense, and we just got to continue to fix the little details, and I feel like that'll help us continue to be more consistent and take the next step for sure.
Talia, are there details either during the week of practice or during games because you have a different group of offensive line? Last year you had a very experienced group that you played with a lot. This year guys are rotating in a little bit more, and also with a younger receiver group. Are there details that you are kind of feel like you have to focus on a little bit more, talk to the guys about a little bit more, either during practice or during the game?
Yes, sir. I think it's football is a very beautiful game. We have things going into the game, and sometimes they may show something different. So I think as long as we go with the little details with assignments, alignment, stuff like that, I think we'll be better. And for me, it's fundamentals, staying in the pocket with my throwing the ball with good technique and good feet in the ground, and we have, like you said, we have new offense, new O-line and new receivers and stuff, and it's always little details in our games, and it all comes down to fundamentals that is a difference in a football game. So once we continue to work on that, and it's always a process of always improving, so we just got to continue to improve.
Everyone good? Thanks.
Thank you.